Hey guys, Terry with Computer Pro. Figured I'd do a super quick loadout video just because several people have asked me. I got to do a big one with our van and basically all our tools, but this is what I'm running right now on a daily basis. So this is my pouch. It's a Veto MB1, I believe. MP1, I'm sorry, MP1. It's got a nice quick, like a flap that you can just stick in your back pocket. It's not super secure like that, but it just sits there. It works in a pinch. I use the belt loop. It's got a nice snap belt loop, so it's secure. As far as the loadout, I took the strap off and I threw on a chain. I just like the T-chains better because you can get stuff off without unlooping anything. So, and then for the loadout here, I carry a pencil for marking for wiring, a flashlight, and I carry a wire. This is a little extendable wire grabber. Goes out to maybe like 3.5 feet or so. Like when you're in the ceiling and you're a foot or two away, you can just hook it with this. It's actually really handy. And there's a little, I don't know if you can see it there. There's a little slot for it, right? So the things fit pretty well. Like this fits in the little slot, tight, snug. All right. Fluke volt detector pen, very handy. You should always have one to be safe. Vampire shears. I used to carry the Fiskars in here. They were kind of big. I actually looped the back handle of them because it was straight in this part here, but they fell out. So right now I'm rocking the Vampire shears. They are wiring shears. I like GBs for wiring, but these are really, really good. So I use these as my main scissors for cutting cable and so forth. Wrapping around this way, I've got a Klein, kind of 2-in-1. It's the one that's spring loaded that pops out. This is just a flattened Phillips. There are other bits, but you can quickly change and then it spring loads itself in. I just like the feel of these guys. They're super, super nice. A ubiquity tool just to take off access points and so forth. And over here, my favorite electrician pliers, just a basic set of pliers. These are Knipex, the 8-inch one, so a little bit smaller than your standard electrician's pliers, but really nice. And then lastly, Milwaukee, of course, marker, like a Sharpie. Down here, oh, well, I guess in the big center part, I've got a Weha. It's a Speedy 2, I think it's called. So they're not super fast, but they have very good torque limiting, so you can screw down like faceplates and stuff and you're not gonna bust through them. So it's really nice. It's got a nice flashlight light up deal. Unfortunately, these aren't standard, what would it be, 1/4 inch or something. They're like European or well, metric basically, so they're off a little bit, so you can't use regular bits. You have to use their bits for it. So I carry this little thing here which comes out, and then there's the rest of their bits. There's a flat, a smaller Phillips electrician's blade, I call it, you know, that little weird flat with the little half Phillips in it. So I carry those on there. Really, I use this when I'm setting up access points and I want to get the center of the tile. So I just leave this right attached, and that's pretty much it. So this is my thing that stays on my belt almost at all times, especially when cabling, because it has my most needed stuff, something to cut, screwdrivers, some form of plier, marking, voltage, light, so all the tape, all the basics. As far as my daily bag, as I call it, it's a MB3B, which is their largest meter bag. So I'll start with the outside first. So on this side, I've got the same Fluke voltage tool, just because you always want to have that to see if something's live, right? The same Klein screwdriver, because it's my favorite one. In the same pocket, the same Knipex pliers, because I think they're the best, so I have multiple sets of them. And a little micro driver with different bits. So that's it on this side. Oh, and there's a couple D-rings that you can carabine stuff to. On the far side, I've got Milwaukee Sharpie or ink saw, quick coax continuity tester, a voltage tester that I've talked about in my other videos, very handy. This will show voltage drop under load, so it's really handy if, you know, it functions like a dummy light for the most part, right? Like to make sure your ground, neutral, and everything is correct. But it has the ability to test under load. So sometimes you can see if something's at the end of a circuit and the voltage is kind of low anyway, and then you put a draw on it and it falls below a certain threshold, you're going to have weird, especially with electronics, you're going to have weird issues. This can identify that, which has been a lifesaver kind of. Apple AirTag, just so we don't get lost. And on the back, I've got a couple 1-footers that I use for testing. Inside this back pocket, I keep my iPad Pro with the pencil for basically doing diagramming, wiring stuff, walkthroughs, my notebook for the most part, right? And there's a nice hook on here. You can hang it from a, you know, from a ceiling or something. If you, or from a, you know, if you're up on a ladder, you can actually hang it. I almost never use that, but it's cool that they have it. It goes in a nice little pocket back here. So, all right, and then in the bag itself, well, I guess in the front, I've got laser measure, and I've got the power cord for my ether scope, and there's another pocket here that I've got some business cards and some rack stickers in, okay? Down here, I have some wiring adapters, the wire view adapters, basic stuff for testing for the NetAlley stuff, right? Double adapter there, fiber module, stuff like that. So that's that. In the main part, I wish it opened a little further, but I guess for protection, it's good the way it is. I have the insert in there, and I don't know if you can see in there. In the little pocket here, you've got a quick USB tester. On this side, I've got the Fluke Intellitone tone and probe kit and a transmitter for it. And next to that, I've got a Link runner, which is just an AT1000. This is what I use the most by far. And I've got in its own padded little spot the ether scope, just because I want to protect it because they're so expensive. A lot of people ask me, you know, why, and we originally thought, because this was pretty pricey, so we'll just get this and then we can sell this. It's good to have both. This is so fast. This runs like an Android operating system, so you have boot up time. I mean, it's pretty fast. This is embedded and it's just instant. Like you turn it on and literally, well, here, I'll turn it on, loading, ready. It's ready to go right now. Auto test, boom, done. So, man, you really can't beat that. You get used to that. It's so quick and nice, right? But when you need more in-depth testing, this tests wireless as well as wired. So this is kind of our all-in-one main diagnostic tool, I guess. And that's pretty much it. That's my daily carry bag. It's got, you know, never 100%, right? But it's got, I'd say, 99% of what I need on a daily basis. And that's how it holds it in there. Nice and snug and protected. And that is pretty much my loadout today. And then I've got my main big tool bag with all my little, you know, wrenches and stuff in it that we keep in the van. This is what I just bring in on a daily basis. So I don't, as IT techs, I don't need, you know, saws and screwdrivers on a daily basis every time I'm interfacing with a client. So this is my main bag. It's more diagnostic, I guess. And then my drill and all that other stuff we have in other bags in the van. So that's what I'm running. And this has been the handiest thing ever. A good side pouch like that is extremely handy. So that's my current loadout.